My name's Mary Fox and I am a potter. You know, as a youngster, I read a lot. I used to go to the library, pour through books, and I was very much in my imagination. I really thought it would be just the cat's meow to be able to draw, and I was a dreadful drawer. I'm still not very good at it. I had no concept of perspective or anything. But when I went into the art room in grade 8, into the ceramics class, which literally, there's no way in hell I would have signed up for this, because I felt like I was not artistically inclined even remotely. The only reason I signed up was because I didn't have any choice. But then when I touched the clay, it was just one of those magical moments where all of a sudden I realized with my hands, in a three-dimensional form, I could create. Whereas if you put a pencil in my hand, I couldn't. And I don't know, it just, everything just sort of bloomed from there. I was immediately entranced by the medium. I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. And before you know it, that's what I was doing in every moment. Looking back on it, it's a little unusual how obsessed with my craft I became at such a young age. Potting all the time, eventually figuring out how to get a wheel at home, then, you know, teaching night classes to people that were, you know, more than twice my age and then some to make money to buy clay. So looking back on it, I'm surprised by my younger self in some ways. I certainly pushed through because, you know, there were an awful lot of challenges. Why I developed the Legacy Project is the amount of time that you need to devote, uninterrupted time, where you can really focus in on your work without the interruptions of everyday life. Delve in there. Pottery is a very demanding field. You need to practice a lot to get that muscle memory and that skill in your hands. It's not something that happens quickly, the wheel. The wheel is an instrument. It's like a musical instrument. So you need to be able to devote that time to develop those skills. And that is one of the major drawbacks for young people. It's like, how do you pay your rent? You know, how do you deal with your everyday? Let alone, where do you have the wheel? Where do you put all the pots that you're making? Where do you put all this equipment? How do you get this time to practice so that you then have the pots that you then need to then learn this whole other field, which is the glazing? It just keeps on going. I think the arts are needed more now than ever. And to give a young person the possibility to be able to blossom, like, that's huge. You know, and it's really incumbent on us to do that. We've made it this far. We've created our world as it is, and we haven't done a very good job. So let's try and at least put some things in place for the young people that are coming after us. Through writing my book, I've hoped to inspire people to donate. I've told them about my life stories, my hardships, my joys, my passion. I have set up an endowment fund. I am planning on raising $1 million, a minimum of $1 million for the endowment fund. For the endowment fund, that's a fund that the society will only be able to access the interests. People can donate directly to that and get a tax receipt. The other option is you can donate through your will. We want to keep this very inexpensive for the resident artists. We only want the resident artists to pay for their supplies and their utilities. Everything else is covered, right? So they can just focus in on the work. Every time you buy the book and you give it to somebody, you're educating somebody else about the Legacy Project, and maybe that person will donate to the society. And then the other thing is, because they have a gallery here where they can sell their work and nobody is taking 50% of that, that's their coin, I'm hoping that they can save that money, right? So when they're done after 2 or 3 years of working here and selling their products, hopefully they've saved enough money so they have a down payment now, and they can go and they can start their own studio pottery. They've been given that time period where if they really apply themselves they can do it. They can pull it off. They can earn enough coin, they can create the work, they can develop their styles, they can figure out what they want to do, and then they can forge on and make mugs for us all. If you'd like to support the Mary Fox Legacy Project, and I hope you do, please go to my website, maryfoxpottery.ca, where you will find a donation button. I appreciate it, as do the young potters coming after me.